Here, Mambo, sit. Good, sit. Mambo, down. Hi, I'm Brian with Evolution Bulldogs. This is part 3 of how to evaluate a Bulldog front assembly. This is Evolution's Mambo. It's going to be our model for today. When you stack a dog, you want to stack his elbows below his shoulders and the carpus joint below his elbow. You want a straight line from those 3 joints when you stack the front end of a dog. The elbows should be neither in too tight nor out too loose. They shouldn't be elbowed out and they shouldn't be elbowed in. When the dog's elbow is about the distance you can barely fit your hand in between his elbow and his rib cage, he's elbowed out a little bit on this side, then those lines should be straight. The passings should be high and they should be strong. They shouldn't be rolled out like this. They should be up high. So their carpus joint is the same as our wrist joint. The feet should be well knuckled. The toes should not be splayed. They should be tight. The footprint should be round, like a cat foot. That's kind of silly. All right. This distance here should be the same as the dog's width of his head, and the layback should create a slight angle to the elbow. It should not be stick straight in the front, which a straight front will impede their reach in the front, and they'll tend to move more bouncy in the front, like a toy poodle. We don't want bouncy toy poodles, we want bulldogs. We want nice, high, tight, strong pasterns. When felt from the top, the scapula should be well spaced. They shouldn't be approaching each other so much that you can't get your fingers between the scapula and the spine. Bulldogs are supposed to have fairly wide front ends. You do want space in between the scapula and the spine, which is setting up their frame for a wider front end that's going to be structurally sound and correct. If those scapula are turned in too hard, it'll cause a too steep of an angle on that shoulder joint, and it will cause excessive wear on the shoulder joint and typically the elbows as well. When viewed from the front, the foreleg should be in a straight line. These are bulldogs, but they're not English bulldogs. These are a working breed, so they should have nice straight forelegs. They should not be bowed at all. The feet should be oriented almost completely straight to the front. It's okay if they're turned out slightly, but you do not want it either turned in nor turned out. You don't want them to be fiddle front. You don't want them to have what's called easty-westy. It should go without saying, unfortunately, oftentimes it does not apply to a lot of bulldogs, but a bulldog should be very well muscled in the front end. It has been argued that the Olde English, which is what all bulldogs descended from, which is a butcher's dog, their job after worrying the bull was to actually grasp the bull by the nose and bring it in to the butcher for slaughter. And they would do that by grabbing it and working their way backwards, dragging the bull in front of them while they're pushing off with their front end. Given that was their original purpose, that explains why the front end should be so well developed on a bulldog. This concludes the front assembly for how to evaluate a bulldog. It's Mambo signing out. Mambo, go kill something. Go!